Now we will begin Part A with the first conversation. Number 1.
I'm really having trouble with this calculus course. If I can't start doing better soon, I'm going to have to drop it.
Why don't you get some help from the graduate assistant? That's what he's there for.
What does the woman suggest the man do? Number 2.
Hey, don't forget to drop that book off at the library on your way home.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I'm on my way. What will the man probably do next? Number 3.
I sure wish I had a metric ruler with me. I need the measurements in millimeters, not in inches, and I'm tired of converting.
Would it make things go faster if you borrowed mine?
What does the man imply? Number 4.
Good news. I'm not going to need surgery after all. The doctor says I can start working out again soon, and maybe play soccer again in a few weeks.
That's terrific. It'd be great if you could get back in shape in time for the state tournament.
What does the woman mean? Number 5.
I already know what I want to take next semester. So why do I have to make an appointment to see my advisor? All I need is her signature on my course sheet.
I'm afraid it doesn't work that way. She has to talk with you to make sure everything's on the right track.
What does the woman mean? Number 6.
Professor Smith sure was acting strangely today.
I noticed that too. She was talking so quietly and then not giving us any homework. Can you believe that?
What can be inferred about Professor Smith? Number 7.
It's been pouring for 3 days now. I begin to wonder if it'll ever stop.
And tomorrow was going to be my day at the beach. But if it doesn't clear up by then, I'll just have to forget about that.
What does the woman imply? Number 8. What a boring speaker. I could hardly keep from falling asleep.
Oh, I don't know about that. In fact, it's been a long time since I've heard anyone as good.
What does the woman mean? Number 9.
Gee, Tom, I hear you're working as a house painter this summer. It's got to be awfully hot working up there on a ladder in the blazing sun all day.
Well, it's hard work, but I get to be outdoors, and the pay's decent.
What does the man imply? Number 10.
I've been working on this report all day, and I've still got 12 pages to write. At this rate, I'll never get it done by tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. You weren't in class today, so you probably haven't heard. The deadline's been extended a week.
What does the man imply? Number 11. Can you believe the way Larry was talking to his roommate? No wonder they don't get along.
Well, maybe Larry was just reacting to something his roommate said. There are two sides to every story, you know.
What does the woman mean? Number 12.
I just called the travel agent. It's all set. On June 1st, I'm heading for the mountains for an entire week.
Have you checked the academic calendar? Because my classes aren't over till the 7th.
What does the woman imply? Number 13. What sort of grade did you get on your research paper? I know how hard you worked on it.
Yeah, well, I was hoping for something really good, but the professor said I made too many broad claims that weren't supported enough.
What can be inferred about the woman's paper? Number 14.
The state ballet is coming to town next weekend, and I can't find a ticket anywhere.
You know, my sister just happens to have one, and she can't go. She's got some sort of conflict in her schedule. What does the man imply the woman should do? Number 15. Have you found out yet what hotel you'll be staying in? I'm at the Gordon, right across the street from the conference center.
Humph, lucky you. I'm at the Applegate, 6 miles away.
What does the woman mean? Number 16.
Joe, I thought your article in the school newspaper was right on target. You certainly convinced me anyway.
Thanks, Mary. Unfortunately, based on the general response, you and I are definitely in the minority.
What does the man mean? Number 17.
Why didn't you go to the hockey finals last weekend? You missed a great game.
Oh, come on. You know how sensitive I am to loud noise. What can be inferred about the man? Number 18.
I know I promised to drive you to the airport next Tuesday, but I'm afraid something's come up. They've called a special meeting at work.
No big deal. Karen said she was available as a backup.
What does the man mean? Number 19. My telephone doesn't seem to be working, and I have lots of calls I have to return this afternoon.
Feel free to use mine if you want. I'll be in a meeting till 5.
What does the woman suggest the man do? Number 20. I don't think we have nearly enough information for our financial plan, but it's due tomorrow, so I guess there's not a lot we can do about it.
Guess not. At this point, we'll just have to make do with what we've got.
What will the speakers probably do? Go on to the next page. Number 21.
Ever since your girlfriend moved to Bridgeport, you're always driving there. How many trips a week do you make anyway?
I've lost count, but I can do it with my eyes closed.
What does the man mean? Number 22.
I've noticed that you spend a lot of time tending to your garden. Do you think you might like to join the University Gardening Club? We meet every other Tuesday.
Oh, thanks for the invitation, but this is how I relax. I'd rather not make it something formal and structured.
What does the woman imply? Number 23.
Does this music bother your studying, Pam? Actually, I'm not studying anymore, but I am trying to sleep.
What does Pam imply? Number 24.
I think we should hold our first committee meeting in one of the meeting rooms at the library. So far, there are 8 of us who plan to come.
Wow. If it weren't more than 4, I'd say to have it over at my place. But with 8 of us, I guess I'd have to go along with your suggestion. What does the man imply? Number 25.
I just don't know if you should call everyone to collect the data or just send out a questionnaire, but you'd better make a decision soon.
I know. There's only 1 month till the election.
What does the woman mean? Number 26.
What's with you? You sure don't look like yourself.
Stay away from me. I don't know what I've got, but whatever it is, you don't want to catch it. What can be inferred about the man? Number 27.
You ate at the Terrace Cafe yesterday, didn't you? Was there much of a wait to be seated?
Was there? Wish I'd brought a book or something to occupy my time. What does the man imply about the Terrace Cafe? Number 28.
I thought there was still time for me to apply for a student loan, but someone just told me the closing date was last Wednesday.
Are you sure? I thought we still had another month. Wait, I've got a brochure right here. Yeah, Wednesday was the opening date.
What does the man imply? Number 29. This casserole really tastes good. I guess that's because the vegetables in it are fresh instead of canned.
I know. Kind of a rare treat in this cafeteria.
What does the woman mean? Number 30.
I don't think I want to live in the dormitory next year. I need more privacy.
I know what you mean, but check out the cost of renting apartments first. I wouldn't be surprised if you changed your mind. What does the man think the woman will do? This is the end of Part A. Go on to the next page. Number 30. Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear longer conversations. After each conversation, you will hear several questions. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Remember, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Go on to the next page. Now we will begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 through 34. Listen to a conversation between two students who meet in front of the library.
Hi, Sue. Where have you been?
Oh, hi, Dan. I was just at the library. I have to hand in my biology paper tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, no. I thought it wasn't due till Monday.
Well, don't worry. It is due Monday. But I'm going away for the weekend and won't be back till Monday night.
Oh? Where are you going?
California. We're having a family reunion. It's my grandmother's 90th birthday, so all the cousins and aunts and uncles are going. She planned the whole thing herself.
Wow, that's great. How many people will be there?
Around 60. My family's big and spread out, but we're pretty close. So, have you started working on your biology paper?
Yeah, I'm doing it on bees and how they're able to recognize whether another bee is related to them.
How can you tell?
They use their sense of smell. The sweat bees guard their nests this way. If another bee approaches the nest, the guard determines if the new bee is familiar. If it is, it's allowed to enter.
Interesting. Can other insects do this?
Well, the paper wasp can. Each wasp nest has a special combination of plant fibers, and so the wasps that live there have a unique smell. Those two are the only kinds I've read about so far.
Well, you've still got time. It sounds like the bees are picky about who comes to their family reunions.
Number 31. What is the relationship between the speakers? Number 32. Why was the man worried at first? Number 33. According to the man, how do some bees use their sense of smell? Number 34. What will the man probably do over the weekend? Questions 35 through 38. Listen to a conversation between two students.
Hi, Jim. What are you doing?
Oh, hi, Linda. I'm working on a report on energy sources for my environmental science class, but I'm having trouble finding enough information.
You know, we were talking about a source of fuel in my class today.
Yeah?
Professor Collins, he's an authority on energy sources. He was telling us about a new way of getting fuel oil from coal.
I didn't know that was possible.
He said something about the coal being set on fire and blasted with a mixture of steam and oxygen. This process produces a gas made of hydrogen and carbon, the basic elements of oil.
And then they do something to change that gas to oil?
Right. First, since coal contains fewer hydrogen atoms than oil, they have to add some extra hydrogen to the gas. Then impurities are washed out with methanol, I think, before this gas is sent on to reactors where it's changed into oil.
Since coal's so plentiful, I guess it won't be long till this new type of oil will be available all over the place, huh?
I doubt it. Professor Collins said something about the process not being economical enough to use in this country. At any rate, you really ought to talk to him. He'll be able to help you more than I can, and he's got office hours all afternoon today.
Thanks. He's over in Anderson Hall, right?
Right.
Number 35. What are the students mainly discussing? Number 36. How did the woman learn about the process she describes? Number 37. In the process described by the woman, why is the coal burned? Number 38. What does the woman mention as a disadvantage of the process she describes? This is the end of Part B. Go on to the next page. Go on to the next page. we will begin Part C with the first talk. Questions 39 through 42. Listen to part of a talk in a music class. The professor is discussing a musical theater production.
It may seem strange that we're discussing music from a Broadway production in this class, The Lion King especially, since it's based on a popular Hollywood movie. I mean, music performed for Broadway theater in the heart of New York City surely would seem to be in the Western tradition of popular music, and not have much in common with the music we've been studying in this course, such as gamelan music of Indonesia, or Zulu chants of South Africa, music that developed outside the Western tradition of Europe and America. But in fact, musicians have a long-standing tradition of borrowing from one another's cultures. And this production's director intentionally included both Western and non-Western music. That way, some of the rhythms, instruments, harmonies typical of non-Western music contrast with and complement popular music more familiar to audiences in North America and Europe. Music like rock, jazz, or Broadway-style show tunes. So, I wanted to spend the rest of this class, and most of the next one, on the music from the show The Lion King, as a way of summarizing some of the technical distinctions between typical Western music and the non-Western music that we've been studying. Now, the African influence on the music is clear. The story takes place in Africa, so the director got a South African composer to write songs with a distinctly African sound. And the songs even include words from African languages. But we'll get back to the African influence later. First, let's turn to the music that was written for the shadow puppet scenes in The Lion King. Music based on the Indonesian music used in the shadow puppet theater of that region.
Number 39. What is the talk mainly about? Number 40. What can be inferred about most of the music the students have studied in the course? Number 41. Why were African words included in some songs for the Broadway version of The Lion King? Number 42. What will the professor probably talk about next? Questions 43 through 46. Listen to part of the talk in a class on the history of science.
In ancient times, many people believed the earth was a flat disk, but well over 2,000 years ago, the ancient Greek philosophers were able to put forward two good arguments proving that it was not. Direct observation of heavenly bodies was at the basis of both these arguments. First, the Greeks knew that during eclipses of the moon, the earth was between the sun and the moon, and they saw that during these eclipses, the earth's shadow on the moon was always round. They realized that this could be true only if the earth was spherical. If the earth were a flat disk, then its shadow during eclipses would not be a perfect circle. It would be stretched out into a long ellipse. The second argument was based on what the Greeks saw during their travels. They noticed that the North Star, or Polaris, appeared lower in the sky when they traveled south. In more northerly regions, the North Star appeared to them to be much higher in the sky. By the way, it was also from this difference in the apparent position of the North Star that the Greeks first calculated the approximate distance around the circumference of the Earth, a figure recorded in ancient documents as 400,000 stadia. That's the plural of the word stadium. Today, it's not known exactly what length one stadium represents, but let's say it was about 200 meters, the length of many athletic stadiums. This would make the Greeks' estimate about twice the figure accepted today, a very good estimate for those writing so long before even the first telescope was invented.
Number 43. What is the talk mainly about? Number 44. According to the professor, what were the beliefs of the Greek philosophers based upon? Number 45. What does the professor say about ancient Greeks who traveled south? Number 46. What does the professor say the term stadium refers to? Questions 47 through 50. Listen to the beginning of a lecture given by a history professor.
Good morning, class. Before I begin today, I would like to address an issue that one of you reminded me of after the last lecture. As you may recall, last time I mentioned that Robert E. Peary was the first person to reach the North Pole. What I neglected to mention was the controversy around Peary's pioneering accomplishment. In 1910, a committee of the National Geographic Society examined Commodore Peary's claim to have reached the North Pole on April 6, 1909, and found no reason to doubt him. This judgment was actually confirmed by a committee of the U.S. Congress in 1911. Nevertheless, Peary's claim was surrounded by controversy. This was largely due to the competing claim of Dr. Frederick Cook, who told the world he had reached the pole a full year earlier. Over the decades, Peary was given the benefit of the doubt, but critics persisted in raising questions about his navigation and the distances he claimed to have covered. So, the Navigation Foundation spent an additional 12 months of exhaustive examination of documents relating to Peary's polar expedition. The documents supported Peary's claims about the distances he covered. After also conducting an extensive computer analysis of photos taken by Peary at the pole, they concluded that Peary and his companions did in fact reach the near vicinity of the North Pole on April 6, 1909. Okay, today we're going to talk about exploration of the opposite end of the world. I assume you all read Chapter 3 in our text and are now familiar with the names Amundsen and Scott.
Number 47. Why did the professor mention the controversy surrounding Peary? Number 48. What did Dr. Cook maintain? Number 49. How did the experts determine that Peary reached the North Pole? Number 50. Which topic will most probably be included in the continuation of today's lecture?